Okay, the next two characters are basically the yen, radical, reminder. It comes from yen, speech, which comes from a depiction of a tongue. Yen, speech, and then they are two different phonetic components, but you've learned both of them, so I'm going to write them both together. Dian, hung, ja, go, and then ren. So run, to recognize something. And then we have the same thing again. Yen, zapong, and zhi. We've learned that as a measure word for an animal. Ren, shi, to recognize, to know somebody. So they're just phonetic. We have the speech radical because you're talking to people, interacting. Here's chu again. So this is thought to be a depiction of a lid over a cup. The lid goes off, which is to be taken to go. So in modern characters, hung, shu, hung, and then the cup part. Pie, ja, dian, chu. This next character, shang. Shu, dian, hung, shang. On top of, or upon, or to go to class, to attend, to go somewhere, shang. Okay, this next character has an obscure origin and was depicted something like this. Oh, that doesn't look anything like it, but it meant the breath of cosmos inherent or in things, or to use it now means to use as. The best thing to do in Chinese is to just think of it as a component in different words. So here are the parts. Shu, go, dian, and then pie, bending over this way, and then a dian over there. E, and then ho means afterwards, but it originally meant queen. So we take a look at this, and the bottom component, ko, can represent a person. The top part is a person. So basically, so you can see the person is stretched over in a certain way. So you can show that coming out. It is a depiction of a child coming forth from a person. So the queen, the woman, the mother, and it is still used as a character to mean queen or princess today, but it's just borrowed for the sound meaning, and it was borrowed very, very anciently, a very old borrowing for afterwards. Pie, and then another pie. Hung, shu, hung ja, hung ho. This next character is depicting something. So these are things that people take care of. So you have a depiction of a hand again. Here's the hand. And originally this was something else. It was this over this, which I don't know that anybody knows the meaning of. But a way to remember it is that you have some things that are being done over here. A number of things that need to be done by someone holding the hand, holding in their hand a brush to do things, to take care of business and items. It can also mean to serve and do business for. So to have things that need to be done. business things, abstract things that are not objects. So you have the one thing, the group of things, the hand, and everything tying it together. Okay, so let's go through that. Hung, shu, hung, ja, hung, hung, shu, go. So you do the shu after everything because it goes all the way through the last hung. The next character to think of, to be fond of, to miss someone, to want to do something is has a phonetic over a signific. So the phonetic part is tree, which is the branches and the roots with the stem going through it. And it is next to the character for eye, an eyeball, by the way. So that is a depiction of an eye, which is turned sideways. So if it was horizontal, it would look like that. These are both pronounced mu. So xiang, this is just phonetic in this case, but xiang means interaction. And they think that it might be that both things are pronounced mu, and so you put them together, and it means that mutually together. The bottom part of the character comes from xin, which is heart. So it used to depict the chambers of the heart and the aorta coming off of it, simplified to this form. So the thing that goes on inside of the heart, to think of, to miss, to want to do something. Hung, shu, go, pie, dian, shu, hung, ja, hung, dian, xie, go, dian, xiang. Now the next character, hui, to return, is just a depiction of a completed circuit. If you think of an arrow, it's just coming around to full circle. And I don't think there's any easier way to explain it. But remember, when you're doing stroke order, you want to fill the box before you close it. So you start shu, hung, ja, go, shu, hung, ja, go, hung, and then you close the box, hung. Hui, to return, hui. The next character has the walking component, zhou, to walk. The phonetic here is ji, which means self, but here it is just phonetic. So qi, together, this character together means to arise, to lift something up. So yi qi, to do things together. Oh, and this is going to look very funny. So let me start over again. Hung, shu, hung, pie, na. And you want to write that out to a distance. And then you tuck the G right in there. Qi, yi qi. The next character, chur, to eat, is composed of mouth. That's pretty obvious. Use your mouth to eat with. This component is phonetic, but it also means qi, to beg for food. So to eat might be offering food to beggars or to receive food that you've begged. I think it probably doesn't mean that originally, but I think it's just phonetic. But it's an interesting way to remember it. Shu, hung, ja, hung, pie, hung, ja, wan, go, chur. So the next component, or the next character, fan. Fan means food in general, white cooked rice in particular, but when it's used in Churfon, it just means food. The radical is this. Let me go over it again. Pie, hung go, shu go. It's very simplified, so sometimes students have a problem with it. Pie, hung go, shu go. It is a short form of this traditional form. This is a character in its own right, sure, which means food or to eat or provisions. So this is a character in simplified form, but when this is written as a radical in simplified characters, it's written like this. And this was almost certainly a depiction of a food pot, like that, with more complications underneath. So that is this radical. The phonetic here, fan, means to reverse, to go backwards. It is a depiction of a hand. So here it is, the right hand, and it is turning something over. So it's turning over this thing, and this fan, to reverse, to turn over. It actually is the verb for starting a rebellion. So, food. We have the pie, hung go, shu go, and then pie, and another pie. Just recognize you've got two pie, hung, pie, na. A lot of diagonals in that one. And we're finished with lesson 8.